Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So they went and added the new 92 overall team builders into Hockey Ultimate Team. I actually didn't think they were going to come until January, but here we are. We've got 6 new 92 overall team builders that we've got to break down. I'll give you guys my thoughts on which ones you should make and kind of my ordering early on. I'll also show you some clips from my first game that I played with a lot of them and what I would do in terms of the market. So let's get into the video and break down all the new team builders. All right, guys, so that is right. We got 6 new team builders, not 4. So there was 8, and now they made 6, which means that even if you had all 8, you'd have to make 2 more to get all 6. So they did increase it by quite a bit, but we're just going to go through them all here. As you can see, I've made 4. We'll start with the 92 Brent Seabrook. 6'3", 220. He's got workhorse and buzzing, as well as light the lamp and bombarded with gold shutdown, no contest, truculence, and seeing eye. Workhorse is a very easy synergy to get activated on him. 93 acceleration. I think acceleration is more important than speed for defensemen. And then he's got 91 speed. His shot is all above 90. Hand stats are a little stiff compared to some of the other 92s, but his defense is unbelievable. 97 body checking, 95 defensive awareness, shot blocking, and stick checking. And then he's got that truculence ability as well. I tried him out with shutdown and everything on activated. The problem is that Rivals right now currently is international ice, so getting hits is a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to give you guys my full feedback on a card like this. I think you have to wait until you play champs or more traditional Rivals because he is not going to thrive in international ice. But he is obviously phenomenal. I think that when it comes to these cards and who you guys should make, I will do a tier list for you guys like I always do, but it is going to be very, very team dependent. I don't think that any creator or anyone that gives recommendations should go and say number 1 through 6 because it's going to change drastically depending on the cards you have. For example, we'll take my team. I've already got X Factor Makar. I've already got the Master Set Uyghur. Making Brent Seabrook, that's going to push one of them down to the 3rd pairing. Now, I obviously have a God Squad, but let's say you don't and you have free to play, but you have those 2. Making Brent Seabrook might not be the best bang for your buck. No matter what, though, as it stands, he looks to be the best right-handed defenseman in the game currently. Next up, we've got the left-handed Jake Gardiner. I found it absolutely hilarious they gave Mr. Game 7 to Jake Gardiner, the team builder for Carolina. But okay, here it is nonetheless. Used him. He was awesome. Again, it is elite edges. And maybe I'm obsessed with it. I don't know. But when you break out the puck with him, he felt exactly like Makar did at the beginning of the game. Okay, he's got 92 speed, 92 acceleration. Light the lamp and protector is what I activated on him when I had him in my lineup. And he was able to hit people really well, and he was able to hold on to the puck, and his breakout was crazy. You put stick him up on him, which is one of the better abilities, I think, for silver because it's so cheap. That's awesome. And I'm starting to really come around on seeing eye from the point. This has been one of the most surprising so far. I only played 1 game, guys, but he was easily the card that stood out the most. Just a really, really fun one to use. And left-handers, there's less top-end left-handers than there are right-handers, I think. Again, I'm thinking back to, like, Slavin would be the one that would probably be at your first pairing if you've got a really, really good squad. But I've got, like, Fowler, but not a lot of people are going to have him. So, Jake Gardiner, I made him, and he felt really good through 1 game, so take that for what it is. Moving on to the forwards, one that I did not get to try, but I had a very, very tough decision, and I'll show you why in just a second. So, Todd Bertuzzi, 6'3", 225. This is the left-handed winger version of Mark Messier's Edmonton Oilers icon card. There are not a lot of cards with gold truculence in this game, and there's a reason for it. It is such a good ability, and when you think to what is going on at the high end or really all ends of the game, you're getting those people that sit behind the net. They wait for someone to come chase you. They're holding the backhand deke, and you can't really knock them off the puck. Gold truculence will knock anyone off the puck. And when you combine the fact he's 6'3" with 98 body checking, he will throw around literally anyone in the game. If Zdeno Chara's 95 master set player from NHL 20 came into the game, Todd Bertuzzi would be able to throw him into the second deck. All right, so he is a very, very fun card. Silver close quarters, bouncer, and crease crasher a little bit less sought after cards. However, crease crasher might be really fun for if you go for a lot of rebounds, which a lot of people do. You can't put any skating synergies on him, so he is going to be a little bit slower, and his deking is only 87, so he will be a little bit stiffer. But in terms of just there is no other card like him other than that Mark Messier for Edmonton, which is extremely rare, which makes him one of the more interesting cards in the game. Then we've got the left-handed winger in Gary Roberts. This is who I went with between Bertuzzi, and I will explain why. So 6'2", 215, the size is not really all that different. He's got Magician as well as Gladiator. Those are the two I went with because I liked the agility, deking, and puck control getting up a little bit higher as opposed to Light the Lamp, because his shot I think is already fine. He's got Gold Close Quarters, Big Tipper, Unstoppable Force, and Truculence. Truculence, Unstoppable Force, we've talked about that a ton. Big Tipper, I think that there's a very small portion of the player base that would actually get any use out of this. I'm excited because I want to try out cards that Big Tipper because it's really all I do, because I have a lot of fun scoring tip shots in the game. Close Quarters has been a very, very effective zone ability throughout the launch of this game as well. Those far side low shots just go in a ton. 93 speed, 93 acceleration, and 93 agility. So he's a much better skater than Bertuzzi. You get his deking up to 92, puck control at 97, and then his body checking is 95 with Gladiator as well. I think that his abilities, all of them are great. Whereas Bertuzzi's, there's a few that maybe are not as sought after. However, I don't know if you would sink all of your points into Gary Roberts. I used him for a game, and his close quarters and his shot came into play. So he was extremely good. And on top of that, let's say you have to trade in Olli Jokinen, or you're missing a center, for example. He's got 84 on the draw. So if you're good at faceoffs, you can get away with using him as a center as well, which gives a little bit more lineup flexibility. Then we've got the 92 Buffalo Sabre Daniel Briere. As someone who grew up in Southern Ontario, Niagara Falls, I had season tickets to the Sabres. I lived in Buffalo for a time in my life. This is awesome, just as a fan. Obviously, compared to the other ones, this is going to be a card. If you're not in Division 1 or 2, he's probably going to be pretty fun. If you're in Division 1 or 2, he's not going to have nearly as much value as the other card. So just taking a look, he can get up to 96 speed, 96 acceleration, which makes him automatically one of the best cards in the game in terms of skating, 99 agility, and he has silver elite edges. As much as I want to try out Bertuzzi, this is the complete antithesis. I like the way that he plays. I'm super excited to try and get this card as well, because I think he's just going to be a ton of fun. Gold wheels on a 96 speed player, that's worth it for sure as well. His shot is great. His hand stats are almost maxed, and defensively he's good too. I mean, a 5'9" center is tough. I've talked about this in the past because you need someone that can bump people off the puck just in the middle when you're defending in the zone. He does have 90 body checking though. So this is a card I want to try out and actually get a good sense of, and not just be like, his attributes are better, this card will play exactly like this, because we don't know. So let me know if you're trying out Danny Briere immediately as well, and I respect it if you went Danny Briere. This looks like a really, really fun card. It's just his height, that's all. And the fact that we just had Matthew Barzal, who's 6 foot and is very close to being the same skater. So that's why, you know, I think that he's probably the lowest on the list in terms of cards that I would make, but still really, really fun. And then we've got the 92 Jay Beagle. So I need to explain some things here. It was brought to light why he has a headshot card. It was actually supposed to be Travis Zajac, which would have been a cool one, I think. However, he did not sign into the Alumni Association. So for anyone that doesn't know, they send out the lists, and if they don't sign back in, the player doesn't actually sign back in, they can't put them in the game. That's why they don't have Dominic Hasek and Bertuzzi and all those guys. They just don't sign in. It's on the player, right? So it sucks, but I also got word that his card art will be updated in a future patch. When that is, I have no idea. He is the best value one if you can only make one, and again, we'll go over why. If you can get Distributor activated, again, it's a very tough one too, I think, just because, again, most cards that have it, you're going to want to use Fly the Zone. But if you can, 92 speed, 92 acceleration, 94 body checking, 95 defensive awareness, stick checking, and 99 faceoffs, and gold quick draw. I talked about this with Bergeron in the last event. If you are good on the draw and you have 99 faceoffs and gold quick draw, you win every tie. So, like, the advantage of using this card, you will end up with puck possession on almost every single face-off, which is just a huge advantage compared to all other abilities, because you'll use it every time you take a face-off with them. Big Tipper, again, I think that it's just fun. I don't know if everyone should put that on. And Shutdown, again, you're probably not defending too much with your centerman, and no contest either. I haven't really noticed a really big bump. I think no contest is more of an EASHL ability, but nonetheless, it just makes him the most viable for the longest time. Even though it is the most boring. Like, he's got the headshot, which kind of sucks compared to all the cool card art, but 6'3", this is the prototype center. without a doubt, this is the best center in the game right now, and just an easy pick for me, I think, for number 1. All right, guys, so that is all the cards. Let's take a look at the sets and kind of the implication on the market here, all right? So if you had all 8, again, you can make 4, and it is going to depend on your team, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, but we'll take a look at the sets. They did do something good in the sense is that any of these team builders, guys, it's any of the 89s. You don't need to have 2 from the same division. That was kind of a fear going around in the community, but no, you just need to have 2 from any of the team builders. And they reset the ability to make team builders, which is another big thing, because let's say well, obviously you would have had to no matter what, because if you made all 8, you still couldn't make 2 of the other ones. But now you're not locked into having to make one of the more expensive divisions. But what's going to happen right now, guys, is as of Tuesday, the timing of this video, it's honestly when the market is at its most expensive anyways. I would not be trying to make any of these team builders right now. And honestly, if you're no money spent or someone that doesn't spend a lot of time or money on the game, save everything for Team of the Year. There's a reason why they've released these cards right now, and it's because they want all those resources dried up right before Team of the Year, because Team of the Year is only a 1-week event usually, and you've got a very limited amount of time, and it's usually when, you know, everyone drops all of their collections. So the chase right now to make team builders, I get it, because they're the new hotness, and they are easily the best cards in the game right now, almost all of them. But I would just hold off. Like, my collection is decimated from just, you know, making Gretzky and things like that, and even I don't want to go out and spend the cost right now to make them, because all of the prices, in all honesty, a smart thing to do, all of your tradables right now, it might be smart to just go and sell them, because what you're going to see over the next day is probably all of these like dry up. Now, some teams have so many, but if you go and look right now at like 2,000 and below, I'd be curious to see. I'm looking at this live. So, okay, so teams like New Jersey is fine, but if you go and look at Phoenix, for example, it's just going to be absolutely absurd, or Tampa Bay. Some of those teams are going to be nuts. So it's all going to depend on how many you have, but I would not go out and blow all your coins on it. What I would do is I would wait for tomorrow. Everyone's going to sell their cards probably, and you could buy up the higher overalls. If everyone is going to blow all of their coins over the next week or two on team builders, there is a unique advantage, because what they're doing is they're not selling 82 and belows. They're selling all of the rest of their collection, which would be 86 or 87s and to 83s. If they're doing that, that means those prices will drop, and you should take advantage of that for Team of the Year by buying up those 86s, 87s, 85s, 84s, because those are going to be needed to make collectibles for Team of the Year. Let everyone else fight over team builders for the next little while, because again, team builders aren't going anywhere. These sets are in the game forever, and you will have a lot more time to make them, as opposed to Team of the Year, which only happens for about a week. So just keep that in mind, guys. I think that's something you should really pay attention to. I would not go out and rush and make them all. I am going to try and make them all so I can make some content and show you guys. And if you want to watch my team live tomorrow while I do champs, because Rivals is international ice right now, so it's not normal. I want to try out what it's like on a normal game. I'm using this team going into Hut Champs tomorrow, so if you guys want to see that live in action, twitch.tv/NoSleeves12. But here's my lineup right now. I've got McKinnon, Jay Beagle, McDavid, Gary Roberts, Gretzky, Lemieux, Barzal, Bergeron, and Larkin, and then Stützle, Matthews, and Solani. As well, when it comes to Beagle, if you are no money spent and you have 2 team builders and you could make 1 card, if you have Bergeron, I don't know, like, you already have an advantage at center with Quick Draw, and Bergeron's still a very, very good card, don't get me wrong, even if you don't activate Quick Draw because of the 93 face-off. I might make Gary Roberts, because I think Gary Roberts is probably one of the best all around. It's very safe. And Jake Gardiner was really, really fun, but again, defense, I would always choose forwards over defense if you can only make 1 or 2 of them. So just keep that in mind, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below, and I will have more clips for you using all of these cards coming shortly. Thanks again for watching.